my mama's sister stole $1,500 out my cousin's account, then tried to go to the grocery store and use her food stamp card. My cousin was staying with my mama's sister at the time, which is how she had access to her information. My mama's sister ended up paying her bills with my cousin's account and routing information, which ended up being like around $1,500. My cousin catches on pretty quick, and she went ahead and canceled all her cards, including her food stamp card. So my mama's sister go to the grocery store, and the card is declining. So she come home mad as immediately on 10. She all in my cousin's face, y'all. My mama's sister mouth so fucking slick, and she was like 100 pounds at the time. Keep that in mind. So she all in my cousin's face, like she literally taking it there. And my cousin, she just calm at the time. She like, keep on. She just keep telling her, keep on. My mama's sister in her face like, what, bitch? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Mind y'all, my cousin is like 7 months pregnant at the time. So my mama's sister steady all in this girl's face like she down ready to stick her tongue down her throat. And she mushes my cousin. Y'all should know what a mush in the face is. One of them. My cousin, she still calm. She like, you got one more time to put your hands on me. She mushed her again. At this point, my mama's sister done woke the beast up. Bitch, she's 7 months pregnant, hot, fat, mad as fuck. Why is you trying her? So my cousin, she stand up, rock her ass right off her feet, straight in the face. At this point, my grandma is intervening. She like, y'all stop all that. Y'all can't be in here fine. So she pulls my cousin into the back room. My mama's sister finally get up and she make her way to the back. She back in this girl face once again, but my grandma is in the middle of them. So y'all can picture that, how they talking, arguing. So my cousin reaches over, kick her ass. She back on the floor. My cousin just like, move, grandma. I'm finna beat her. My grandma just like, y'all calm down. Go outside, Sequoia. So my cousin goes outside. My mama's sister go to the balcony. She throwing my cousin and the baby stuff off the balcony at this point. Like, you lame, ass bitch. And my cousin just like, I'ma leave. Just let me get my shit. She like, you ain't gonna get shit, bitch. Trying to fuck the girl shit up. So my cousin trying to gather her stuff. And my mama's sister make her way outside. This lady comes outside, cocks back, and spits at this girl. My cousin grabbed her ass by her legs, pulled her, and swung her ass. Now she on top of a bender. Bow, bow, going in, face shots. My mama's sister's son comes outside. He trying to break it up by pulling his mama off from up under my cousin. This whole time, my cousin still, she not letting her ass go. She taking that ass. Bow, bow, bow. So they eventually ended up breaking them up. And she, of course, put my cousin out. And my cousin ended up finding her apartments like 2 weeks later. But the crazy thing is, my cousin ended up having her baby on the same day as my mama's sister's birthday. Do you know how fucking mad I would have been? My baby was born on your birthday, bitch, after I just beat your ass.
Story time about how my mother-in-law invited some hoe to Thanksgiving. Anyways, y'all know Thanksgiving just passed, and I went over to Georgia to go to my boyfriend's family Thanksgiving, as I usually do. And then all of a sudden, when they was making like the Thanksgiving list, I kept noticing like somebody's name on there. Now, this girl has been to my baby's birthday party in October, just like randomly showed up, and I was wondering like, who is this girl? And I asked my boyfriend, I was like, who is that? And he's like, that's my sister's friend. They've been friends like for a long time. And I asked him like, okay, well, what's your history with her? And he's like, nothing, she just been a family friend. I'm like, okay. And next thing you know, when we're getting ready for Thanksgiving and they're going over like the cooking list, who's going to cook what, and they had like a note that was shared between everyone, and I look and I see this girl's name on the list. And I'm like, why is this girl's name on the list? Wait, so rewind. So I kind of told my boyfriend, like, she showed up to my baby's birthday party. I don't even know her. She didn't even bring a gift. Like, that's tacky. Like, what are you doing here? So it kind of felt like it was giving like, oh, my spot is secured or something. But it's like, I don't like that. If I throw something for my baby's birthday, it's not no open invite. It's invite only. And it was something small at Chuck E. Cheese that I only invited his family. So I really didn't see why was she popping up. And I asked him, I was like, so you think, are they inviting her for Thanksgiving? She gonna go to her own family's house. He was like, oh, she got her own family. She gonna go over there. So I didn't think nothing of it until the shared notes came around. And I seen her name on the list for some peanut oil and beverages. And I'm like, what is her name doing on the list? You just said that she gonna go to her family for Thanksgiving. And he was like, oh, that's what I thought. So I'm like, you know what? I was going to go if it's like all about family and everything like that. But since y'all adding strangers to y'all Thanksgiving roster and shit, like I'm no longer interested. We need to either just stay home for Thanksgiving or just go to my family's house. So I told his mom we weren't going to make it for Thanksgiving. And then, y'all, I kid you not, this lady starts blowing my phone up, starts texting my man, calling my man, and whatever like that. And she starts hinting, because I feel like, when you being messy like that, you kind of know what my issue is, but you don't want to go out and say it. So she wanted to know, like, why I wasn't coming. But it's like, oh, you know why I'm not coming. So she go around blowing the phones up and just asking all these questions and stuff. And I just left it simple. I didn't make it about that hoe. I was like, oh, we just gonna go to my family's for Thanksgiving. Mind you, she was supposed to get the kids on Sunday when I came back from my birthday trip for Dallas. She was supposed to get the kids, but I ended up taking my kids, So she was like, oh, we didn't get the kids and we wanted to know if you were still coming for Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh, we'll probably go to my family's house. And then she's like, oh, why? What's the problem? Thanksgiving is very important to me. I really want you guys to come, like this and that. So I'm like, oh, no issue. I'm like not letting it off like it's an issue. I'm like, we're just going to my family. Like, I've been with this boy for like so many years, and we've been to his family's house for Thanksgiving because I didn't grow up in a family like that celebrated holidays, so we didn't really do that on my side, so I would just always come to his. But I started thinking of it like, and if it was somebody who was like regular, who had holidays on both sides of the family, sometimes they'll go here, sometimes they'll go there. So why now she's acting all entitled like we have to go when I'm literally telling you I'm going to my family? She was definitely upset, and she was just asking me why, and I just left it at like, we're just going to my family's house. So then she says, oh, and I wanted to also talk to you about the blank situation, saying that girl's name. And I'm like, what situation? I never talked to you about her. I never said anything to you about her. And she was like, oh, I just really wanted to get your input and your side of things to see why you feel the way that you feel and this and that. And again, I never talked to his mom about that shit. So you want to know how? I reached out to the girl and I had my own one-on-one with her after my baby birthday party to really figure out, like, girl, who is you and why is you here? And just asking her questions. And how about this messy asshole went back and told his mama that I said something to her, as in like, and his mama was coming at me like she was supposed to play Captain Save-A-Hole, trying to be a mediator type shit. Like, this is a grown-ass woman. I ain't talked to you about this shit. I talked to her about it. Now, why is her scary ass going back to you like she about to stop some shit? See, I don't like that. All of that messy shit. Y'all, like and share this video for part 2 so I could tell y'all how it went down after I had to really say something, because at that point, I was pissed off. And also, y'all gonna see in part 2 the part my boyfriend plays in it too, because niggas. Okay, y'all, so part 2. So I'm gonna tell y'all the history of how me and this girl got into contact. So I had asked his mom for the girl's number. I said, after the whole thing happened at my baby birthday party, I was like, hey, do you have her number? I would really like to talk to her if she didn't mind. And then the mom said, sure, send me her number. So I called the girl with my best friend on three-way, because I already talked this over my friend. You know how we be, like, we already clocking the shit. And I called her and I was like, hey, yeah, so I just wanted to let you know a few things that happened over at Thanksgiving, that kind of made me, well, not on Thanksgiving, at my baby's birthday party, because they had a get together afterwards and whatever. So I said it kind of made me uncomfortable. And she's like, oh, what was it? Okay, y'all. So imagine yo people, we outside doing karaoke. Now, I don't participate on that, but his family like karaoke. So we was outside doing karaoke, and when his sister was up there on the stage, it was funny and whatever. So I'm sitting here, my boyfriend's sitting here, and she's sitting behind us right there. Now the stage is this way. Why I keep noticing this nigga neck this way? Nigga, your girlfriend, the love of your life, is this way. This way. Why you keep looking back there? That was one of the red flags too that let me know, like, something ain't right. Who is this girl? Because you looking back here, while she trying to be funny, but the stage up here, I'm this way. So that was strike one. I had let her know, like, I was just getting off vibes and this now. She was like, oh, well, I was trying to read the vibes, and, I was being very nice to you, and I just really thought that we could be friends, and I didn't know, what you were feeling. What I was feeling. Sound like a guilty conscience to me, because when I was getting ready in the bathroom and trying to do my makeup, this and that, she was like, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, thank you. It's always them type of hoes. So After that, we was about to go. So she was like all up on my kids. The whole day she was all up on my kids. She was sitting there trying to do bracelets with one of my daughters. Then she was around my other daughter talking about she's so cute. She's so cute. Mind you, you never met my kids. You don't know me. But you all up around my kids when I'm trying to have them spend time with their grandmother. Strike two. And then strike three was when it was time to go. I was like, okay, y'all, you know, we about to go, blah, 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 bye. I waved to her bye from the kitchen. I was like, bye. And then my kids told her bye, like, y'all say bye. They said bye. And then, okay, so the front door is up here. So I'm walking this way. My boyfriend's walking behind me. She's walking in the opposite direction, like towards us, because she was by the front door. So when she's walking towards, I said bye. I waved as she was walking by. And then after that, she immediately gives my boyfriend a hug. So I look back. I'm like, y'all just don't know. Because I done did a lot of work on myself. I was like, is this a prank? Am I being pranked? Because I'm mature, but I ain't that motherfucking mature. Why are you hugging my man and I don't even know you? So that was strike three. Red flag number 3. So I was like, okay, I'm going to talk. I told her about all those things that made me uncomfortable. And, you know, I ain't like the hug, you know, just a few things that, you know, I pick up off of vibes. And she was like, oh, I didn't really know your vibe. I'm like, oh, yeah, because you won't. I'm a quiet type of person. I like to observe. I sit back. Like, I'm not going to be. So she was like, oh, okay. And I said, okay, well, that made me uncomfortable. She's like, oh, yeah, well, I apologize for that. And yeah, me and him, we're just friends. I know they keep saying you're his sister's friend, but I'm trying to figure out, like, what is the dynamic between the relationship of you and him? Because y'all, side note, like, ain't nobody dumb. Like, and then he's the older brother of 2 younger sisters. From what I always see is the older brother. If you got an older brother and you got younger sister, the sister's friends always be crushing on the older brother. So it's the fact that she said she was the sister's friend that made me like, and then it came from childhood shit. And I'm like, something ain't right. So then I was like, okay, so what's the dynamic of y'all relationship? Oh yeah, well, you know, I am his sister's friend, and you know, I do know him. Yeah, we knew each other back then, like when we were younger and this and that and whatever. But it's never been like that. So then I remind her of the DMs. I was like, oh yeah, you don't remember when y'all had each other on social media, y'all DMing. So I asked her, is this your Instagram name? I told it to her. And she was like, yeah, it is. So I was like, so you don't remember when I wrote you on Instagram a few years back because he was DMing him? And I wrote you on Instagram? I don't recall. Y'all, I cussed this girl out 2-3 years ago because she was DMing my man on Instagram and the conversation was very constant. Now we gonna get to him in a second, but I'm talking about her. She knew he was taken. You knew, if you that close in the family where you know his sisters, why you don't know he's taken? I said, why you DMing my man type stuff and whatever? And she was like, oh, I know his sisters. I live in another state. I've been knowing him as if her spot secured. So then I'm like, oh, yeah, he's in a relationship. Oh, I didn't know anything about him being in a relationship. So I said, bitch, if you know his sisters, then you could just ask his sisters because this is just some goofy shit. You could ask his sisters and they'll let you know he's in a relationship, long-term relationship for, you know, a minute now. So, like, who is you fooling? Get the fuck out his inbox. All of this shit is just a little too much over inbox. Mama told me that she ran back and told her what I said. Y'all, I kid you not. The only thing I said was that conversation. And then after that, I texted her and I said, hey, do you still have the messages between the DMs between you and my boyfriend? And then she, crickets, ran back and told his mama. If that's not a motherfucking guilty conscience, I don't know what is. Because what is you running back telling for? What is there to tell? So the second I mentioned DMs, you, oh, she's on to me. Oh my God. You trying to tell his mom to save you. You trying to tell his mom as if I'm trying to be a problem starter. When really the gag is I was asking about the DM so she could scroll up and see exactly where I cussed her ass out. That's the real tea. So it's like, don't try to act like you forgot when it's right there in the DMs. And then the second I ask for DMs, you probably don't got him anyways because he don't even have her DM. So I'm like, that's a red flag right there. If y'all supposed to be friends and platonic, where is the DMs? You don't got it. You don't got it. Show me the platonic messages. If it's just a friendship and it's just platonic, show me that. Show me the platonic conversations. You ain't got shit to show, but you just trying to tell me something. Ran to his mama like a scary asshole. And then his mama came back to me, y'all. And now Like and share this video for part 3 for what happened on how I handled my boyfriend motherfucking ass. Because y'all, I keep talking about his mama, I keep talking about the girl, but he coming next. So like for part 3 for how I lit his ass up.
Okay, I went on a date with the guy who plays in the NFL. I had met him a few months back in LA at a party, and at this party we had exchanged numbers with each other. After that night, he would message me all the time for months, and I would just never reply. I never replied because, as you guys know, I just have bad luck with these people. So then one day I was in this spontaneous mood, so I finally decided to reply. We ended up texting back and forth for a few days, and then he asked me out to dinner, and I had said yes. He told me that he would pick me up for dinner, and I had told him that it was fine, that I would drive myself. And the reason I wanted to drive myself was because if anything went wrong or if I wanted to leave, I can just drive myself home and not have to worry about anything. So then the day to go out to dinner arrives, and I'm all dressed up, ready to head out the door. And all of a sudden, I just felt like not going anymore. I don't know if that has ever happened to you, where you get ready and then you just don't feel like doing anything. That is what happened to me. After I decided that I wasn't in the mood to go, he had texted me a picture that he was already there waiting for me. I think because of like my past dating experiences, I was just not feeling it, and I was kind of scared of what was going to happen, so I just did not show up. The day after we were supposed to have dinner together, he texted me again, and he still wanted to take me out to dinner. At this point, I was like, you know what? I already didn't show up to dinner. This guy has been trying to text me, so why not? So I met him at this restaurant, and it went really, really well. We were talking, getting along, we were clicking and everything. It was going super well, and we actually stayed until the restaurant closed. We were the last ones there, just chatting away. The day after that, he had asked to see me again, and because I had such a good time, I was like, sure, why not? So this time he picked me up and he took me to Nobu. The whole time we were at Nobu, we were just talking away, getting to know each other, just having such a good time, laughing, food was good. While we were having dinner, he did lean over a couple of times trying to kiss me, and I kind of just acted like I didn't know what he was doing. I would like turn to the side or kind of laugh or continue the conversation. I was trying not to make it obvious that I didn't want to in that moment. So then we leave the restaurant and we're waiting for his car. And while we're waiting for his car, he was like, oh, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't care, whatever you want to do, I don't mind. Something fun, let's do something fun. And he's like, let's go to the strip club. And I was like, fuck it, let's go to the strip club, I'm down. So we ended up going to the strip club, and that's how we spent the rest of our night. So then the day after that, he messaged me again asking to see me, and I was having so much fun with him, I was down. So he picks me up, we went on a hike that morning, and then later that night we went out to dinner again. While we were at dinner, he had asked me if I wanted to go over to his place. He was like, if you don't want to come, it's fine, but I do have something waiting there for you. And I was like, obviously curious what it was, so I said yes. Once we got to his house, the first thing that he did was give me a tour of his house. And once we got to his kitchen, I had seen his chef there with a table filled of different desserts. It looked so pretty. There was flour. His chef leaves and we sit at the table. We try all the desserts and we're there for hours just talking, trying all these different desserts. While we were there just hanging out, hours had passed. His friend ended up calling him saying that he needed a ride. So he had asked me if I wanted to go with him to give his friend a ride or wait at his house. And I decided to wait at his house because he told me that he wasn't going to be long. So I was like, I'll just wait here. So he leaves and I sit on the couch just scrolling on my phone. About 10 minutes later, I want to say, he calls me and he was like, hey, change into something comfortable. When I get back, let's watch a movie. And I had told him I didn't bring clothes, because I didn't plan on staying there or anything. And he was like, oh, like, you're right. Like, just go into my closet and grab something to wear so you're comfortable. He also told me I could take my makeup off, freshen up, do whatever I wanted to do. So I go into his closet and I grab just one of his big t-shirts, put it on, and then I go in his bathroom to take my makeup off. That way I'm comfortable. It was already super late. It was like 3 a.m. I go to his sink and I see all these bottles of like face wash and creams. I have super sensitive skin, so I didn't want to use anything that would break me out. So I was looking up what these products were and if they were safe for my skin. And one of the products, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, it was called imiquimod or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I looked it up and it said that it's used to treat genital warts, and that scared me right there. I did get scared, so I just changed into my clothes and I left.
Okay, so this is going to be a part 1 to my story time about how I was on a trip with a dude that I was dating, and he basically left the club with 2 females and pretty much kicked me out the car while I was drunk and was showing his ass. He really showed his ass. Okay, so I was dating this dude last year, and first of all, he had a whole family that he lied about. Turns out he had a wife and 5 kids. Okay. When we met, the wife was actually pregnant with his child, his second child by her. The other children are from previous partners by, whatever. So when we met, this man never disclosed that he had a situation, had kids, period. Because one thing about it, like, I don't date men with children. Especially if the child is fresh out the cooch. That baby not even walking yet? No. And he had, his first child at the time was only a couple of months. Now, when we first met and everything, I would say things moved kind of fast or whatnot. And, he had me thinking one thing and it was something completely different. This man put me through it, okay? And first of all, when I first met him, I was just going through stuff mentally, so I just wasn't in a good place. And he knew that, and he basically used that against me. He would say things about my mental health, questioning it, calling me all types of crazy, delusional, saying how, like, no man that I ever with, like, they don't want me, they just use me and move on, how you're nothing but a sex object, and all this type of stuff. Now, I saw a couple people in the comments like, oh, you must have stayed, and this and that. You hear people say all the time, oh, well, why didn't you leave? This and that. Listen, I used to be that feeling of like, oh, that wouldn't be me. That wouldn't be me. That wouldn't be me. But listen, like, you really don't know until it's you, until you're in that situation. For months, I dealt with BS from this man. And, like, it's easier said than done. So on our second date, this is how I knew it was a big red flag and I should have went there. We went out somewhere, and so yeah, we went on a date to one of those dine-in theaters that we have here in New York. So he was late for the date. He was so late. And it's like anytime we would try to plan something or go on a date, he will always be late. But anyway, back to the second date. He was late for the date. So now we were still able to go in and sit down, even though the movie had started like 30 minutes later. We still was able to sit down. So now I'm hungry. I haven't eaten hours. I'm hungry. I would like to have a little drink or whatnot. And because of the fact that he was late, the kitchen was closed and we weren't able to order anything. Now, I was upset because I was hungry. And when I'm hungry, I get a little moody. You get it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was upset because they didn't tell us that before we had sat down. Because obviously I would have just like, you know what? Forget it. Like, let's just get our refund and that's just that. Another thing, keep in mind, I paid for this, which is not really a big deal. But I paid for this date. Okay? So I'm upset. The waitress person was like, yeah, if you want a refund, I can have a manager come to you and you get a refund. I was like, yeah, that's fine, because I don't want to see the movie anymore, because I want to eat. I wanted to eat my food with the movie, and the movie's already 30 minutes in. So if you can't give me a refund, that's fine. So now he's just like, oh, it's not a big deal. So now I'm getting irritated because I'm hungry. He was already late for the date, and now you're trying to tell me how to react for something, and I don't like that. So then I ended up walking out of the section we were at, and I went down the stairs to, like, out where the manager be at, is like a little bar area. So I'm there or whatnot, I'm waiting, and he's trying to talk to me. I'm upset because it's like, you're not even listening to me. And he's like, and one thing about me, like, I'm gonna keep talking too. You hear me? Like, I'm trying to sit here and speak to the person so I can get, a ticket refund or whatever for the ticket. So I really want to see the movie too. So I'm like, I could just come back another time. So he's like, oh, you're making a big deal over money, this, and that, yeah. And I'm just like, first of all, it's not even about the money. I'm hungry. Like, I'm hungry. You were late, and then you're trying to tell me how to react or something. So then, after that or whatnot, he just kept going and going. So then he left out. He left. So I don't even know why I even called him. I really don't know, because that was the first flag there. I should have just left that, did it right then and there. But for some reason, I picked up the phone and it's like, oh, like, you for real or whatever. And one thing about me, when I'm upset, like, I start crying. Now, I had shed a little tear or something. He didn't see my little tear or whatever. I was just so frustrated because you're like, oh, is all these restaurants over here, and you acting like this got the best food here in New York. And I'm like, it's not even about that. So I was just so upset. So anyway, I called him up, whatever. I'm like, oh, so you just want to just leave or whatever? And he was like, oh, I'm outside. If you want to come outside, then you could just come outside. If not or whatever. Me being whatever, I wound up going outside. I went outside or whatever. We got into the car, and then we went on to the next place. Now that I have never ever first met somebody, this our second date, and we arguing already, like we know each other for all this time, and we fighting low key, you know what I'm saying, but not fighting physically. But that was the first of one of numerous arguments that we had. Okay, so then we're going to fast forward to the third date. The third date was the following weekend. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back and tell you how I met this dude. I initially met this dude on Hinge. Okay? And he kind of catfished me. I'm going to tell you how he catfished me, because the first picture on his profile was not him. He wrote me first. And all of that. But I didn't realize until afterwards that picture, the first picture on his profile, was not him. It was not him at all. Okay? So, and the first time we actually FaceTime, and this is another flag, he was outside. He was outside his car driving. And another thing, like, if a man sit here and the only time you talk to a man is when he is outside on the road, quote, working or whatever, that's a big flag. Big flag, pack it up, go. Okay, so this is going to be part 2 of the time the dude I was dating invited me on a trip just to other women, and then left me outside the club drunk. So the end of part 1, I explained, I started going into our third date. So the third date is when I suspected he was a liar and that he had a family. So we will always meet up, because we don't live in the same area in New York. Okay, if you are from New York, you know the difference between living in the city and then living towards upstate. There's a difference. Okay, New Yorker is within the 5 boroughs. Okay, within the 5 boroughs. Okay, and I live within the 5 boroughs. So anyway, we would always meet up at a certain spot in the city or whatever. So this day we meeting up for our third date and everything. And I went to get in the car. He opened the front seat, the front door. Then I'm like, I see a baby car seat in the back. So I was like, oh, you got a daughter? Because it's pink. It was like a pink lining. He was like, yeah, you didn't know I told you that already. So I'm like, no, you didn't. He said, yes, I did. I said, no, you didn't. He said, yes, I did. You must have forgot. So I'm like, okay. So I let go. So now we get into the restaurant that, we get into the restaurant that we went to, whatever. Then down the line, I realized that that's the same restaurant that he took he said that wasn't his wife, but 2, okay? So we get into the restaurant and everything, cool vibes and all that. We're talking, we're eating. And then I asked him, so how old is your daughter? And I'm like, well, like, you know, I really don't recall you mentioning this or whatever. And I'm asking, like, not to be all up in your business, but, you know, like, what's the situation with you and her mother and everything? Because once he told me how old his daughter was, I was like, so he goes, oh, they live in Texas. The mother lives in Texas and so on. But they got family that live upstate. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, if they live in Texas, when do you see your child, you know? Okay, he quickly ended that conversation. He wasn't trying to engage in the conversation. It was really clear. But at that point, I'm just like, this man is hiding something. This man is hiding something. And me, I'm the type of person, I truly believe, like, most people that really live upstate New York is people who have families. People, the only people who really travel from upstate to the city for work is people who have families. So it was just a real sign for me, you know what I'm saying? And then that was the time on that date. That is when, I don't know why, I'm a rambler. I overshare. And like I said, during that time, I was really going through something. And I overshared to him about a situation that I was dealing with just only like a couple of months prior with an individual that I had feelings for, and it just, I don't know what happened. Still don't know what happened to this day, but we're not here to talk about that situation. And that's when he was like, well, he just sees you as a sex object. And my jaw dropped to the floor. My jaw dropped to the floor. And instantly it made me start crying at the dinner table, at the restaurant, in the middle of the restaurant. I started crying because that really hurt my feelings. Like, y'all ever had somebody say something to you and it just felt like a knife stabbing you in the chest and then ripping out and then stabbing you again? That's what that felt like. And I was just like, even if that was true, you don't even know, because you don't even know the person. But even if that was true, why would you say something like that? Like, what type of person would say something that hurtful to hurt someone intentionally? So that was one of many times where that man would set certain things outside in public to hurt my feelings and make me cry. Like, I'm a very emotional person. I'm very in tune with my emotions. So it ain't nothing to get me to cry. I'm not trying to be funny. Especially if you say something and you know it's gonna hurt my feelings, like it's gonna happen. So after that date, I don't know, like something was just off. And again, I was dealing with some stuff during that time. And the following day I went to work. I'm about to tell myself. But I had searched up some information on a system that I wasn't supposed to, because Miss Detective over here, okay? And I found out some information, and it caused me to have a panic attack in the middle of the work day, and I had to leave work. I could not calm down. I could not, nothing. But before that, it's something else had happened, but okay. So before that day that I went lurking at during the systems I wasn't supposed to lurk in, I happened to go on TikTok randomly, and I came across a page of a woman that was far pregnant in him at their baby shower. Okay. So this was like the fourth date-ish, because the fourth date is when we had went somewhere and his friend had pulled up, and then he was trying to show me something in his phone with his friend, and then I saw a baby shower invite, and I'm like, so his friend is at the place and everything, and I just didn't feel comfortable and I wanted to leave. I stepped out. He came to the car. We started arguing. He's like, I embarrassed him. I'm like, how am I embarrassing you? Because I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm uncomfortable. I didn't think your friend was going to actually come. So I just feel weird. I don't want to be here. So when he ended up going back into the restaurant with his friend, well, it was actually a lounge that we were at. So when he went back inside or whatever, me being me, I'm nosy and my intuitions never lie. So I opened the little glove department and I saw and I took a picture of it. Okay. just to refer back to the address and everything that I put together, because at that point I knew I was going to go do some digging, because I was not believing anything that was coming out of this man's mouth. He claimed that the baby shower invite was from his friend, and I'm just like, okay, but I could clearly see that you were the one who sent the invite, but no problem, that's your friend baby shower. So then the day prior, I was doing some search. I was doing a little search online, and I saw a registry, a baby shower registry. So this is when everything kind of was like putting pieces together, and it was his name and the woman's name. So I said, who's XYZ? And I act like I didn't know the pronunciation of the name. So I said it again. I'm like, I'm like, oh yeah, XYZ. And he's like, oh, that's my friend's baby mother. I said, your friend's baby mother? I was like, but they had your name on it. I said, you and your friend got the same name? That's weird. In the same city that you live in? That is so weird. But, men being men, he came up with some type of lie or whatever, and I was just like, okay, no problem. I know what I'm going to do once I go home. I'm going to do some more digging. So when I got home that night, that is when I found the TikTok video account and everything. And then I asked him about it. He claimed that was from his first baby shower. I'm like, but how come it was just posted a few weeks ago? This was your first baby shower, and your daughter is a year old. How is this from that? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Of course, he came up with some lie. I'm like, he's like, oh, I can't help the way I can't tell people when and when not to post something, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, believe what you want, and all of this nonsense. So again, that should have been my idea, but again, me being dumb. So then that's when the next day I went to work. I searched all the information that I was like putting pieces together and everything. I searched it, and then it was just like, so not only did you lie about having one child, okay, you lied about having a baby on the way. You lied about living with her, and so on, allegedly. Because when I came to him with the information that I found, he still denied everything, and it was just like, oh, you're just trying to find a way to sit here and to argue, and you're toxic, and this is and that.